Welcome back to the Wine Crush. I'm Laura Lawson, and today we are demystifying wine and having a fun time doing it. But right now, I'm going to get a little help. We have Judy Beardsall. She has done a little bit of everything. She has spent 20 years in the wine business. She was managing retail at Sherry Lehman. She is the owner of a Tuscan vineyard, and now she is the author of Sniffing the Cork and Other Wine Myths Demystified. Judy, welcome to the Wine Crush.
Hi, Laura. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be with you.
I am delighted to have you on the show. It seems like flipping through your book and reading some excerpts, you and I share a lot of similarities.
Terrific.
Well, today we are having a little bit of fun. We are coaching our listeners totally on myths and urban legends and all the things that are affiliated with wine that tend to make it difficult. I think by all means, you're bound to be the expert on it because you literally wrote the book. So what do you think are some of the worst myths that are out there?
Well, there are so many that we could probably spend days on this, but I'll tell you, so many people have their first or maybe most frequent wine experiences in a restaurant, and I guess you might say this is a combination of myth and pet peeves, but one of the things is I really like to control the pouring of my own wine. I feel it's much more relaxed and civilized, and there are a couple of reasons for this. You tend to have waiters or servers coming around and helpfully filling up your glass, but that doesn't really help you, and somehow people become intimidated and feel that they just have to let that happen.
Oh, I don't know. Some days it really helps me depending on who I'm having to eat with.
Well, I find that I don't like the glass filled up all the way,
right.
And sometimes that seems to be the case because then you don't get the chance to fully experience the aromas. And also, you can't really judge how much you're drinking if people keep filling up your glass.
That does usually present a problem. So what you're saying is a glass half empty is not a bad thing.
Exactly. In fact, etiquette from the Victorian era was that the people who were serving at home would wait until your glass was just had a little teeny bit of wine in the bottom, and then they would refill because it was considered polite, so people could monitor their own drinking. I also like to be able to not wait if the glass is empty to have someone bring it round. In Europe, generally, the bottle is put on the table, and it just makes it more relaxed and a lot easier to enjoy. And sometimes that bottle is coming in the middle of a very crucial conversation. You see something being poured in front of you. So there are a lot of reasons. Obviously, the restaurant sells more wine that way, and so you can see their point of view. One of the other things is wine by the glass, which is a very popular and terrific thing to encounter in restaurants. But when was that wine opened? And I think that basically what I see as myths are that we don't have control. I love wine and food, and I really feel that we should be able to control more of our own experience and not feel afraid to speak up.
No, and I think a lot of people get intimidated. In fact, I will go out to dinner, and I just want to reiterate this to our listeners and make sure you and I are on the same page. So it is not a bad thing to reach out and pour your own glass from your bottle when that bottle's on the table.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. It is absolutely fine.
My husband was actually silly enough one day to reprimand me. He's like, "Oh, no, the waiter will get it." And I said, "Oh, no, the waiter's not going to get here fast enough for this conversation." So it is something, so definitely feel free to reach out, pour your own glass.
Absolutely. And often, there are many reasons for this. As I said, you just feel you want the wine, and you should be able to, where is that rule written that the waiter should do it? That's just, I think that's a myth. That's truly a myth. And it stops you having the pleasure that you're really there for.
When you sit back and you talk about all these things, they can be myths, they can be legends, they can be just misnomers that happen because either of bad servers, bad waiters. Because you were mentioning about restaurants, let's go ahead, continue on that. When you talk about how waiters come and control the pace of your dinner and control what you're drinking, how much do you think the restaurant staff proliferates all these myths that continue to go on?
Well, I don't blame them or say it's their fault. I think it's a systemic problem. I don't think they're deliberately trying to sabotage your dining experience. I think that they are under instructions to fill up the glasses, just like they fill up your water glasses, which is great. They're also instructed to fill up your wine glass, because that way I've been in restaurants where they empty the bottle, you're all having a good time and talking. Before you know it, they've brought another bottle, pulled the cork, and you haven't asked for it. And then they'll say, well, we assumed you wanted another bottle.
Well, we all know what happens when you assume, don't we?
And what happens is that doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. Or they'll say, would you like another bottle? I think you will ask if you'd like another bottle. I think it goes back to that there's an intimidation factor in restaurants, which isn't really a conscious program, but it's really something that's built into the system where we have to feel that we're comfortable with enjoying wine with our meals.
Judy, I think all of us have one myth, just one that sets our teeth on edge, that really makes our hair stand on end. For me, it's I can't drink red wine because it has sulfites and will give me a headache.
Right.
What is the one myth that just makes you want to slap somebody?
That you can tell the condition of the wine by sniffing the cork, as in the title of my book. That would have to have been my number one myth, hence the title. You really are presented with the cork, even if you are the most educated expert, and I've made wine, had been involved very much in the technical side of it, eventually you can tell if there's something wrong or a defect with the wine by smelling the wine, not the cork. And that to me is really the number one irritant, because in fact the presenting of the cork is for you to check that what is on the cork matches what is on the label.
Ah, here we go. See, this is kind of funny. We had an email in the segment before, and it was asking about the sniffing of the cork. You and I have pretty much answered dead on. And to the Wine Crush audience, we are not in the studio. We did not prepare it. See, we do know what we're talking about around here.
Exactly. I think another myth is that the more money you spend, the better the wine is. And that really is a huge myth, because it's simply not true. Many people drink the label, or they go down the wine list and they say, well, what's the most expensive one? That's got to be the best one. Not necessarily true. There should be, at every price point, every bottle should be good on a wine list or in a store. So what makes it better? It makes it different. It makes it a different experience, but it doesn't mean better. And it's as if saying one child in a family is better than another.
That would never happen.
Right.
Well, Judy, I appreciate you being part of the Crush today. To our listeners, please, please, please take a moment, go out, grab Judy's book, Sniffing the Cork and Other Wine Myths Demystified. Judy, do you have a website or someplace where people can come track you down?
Yes, I do. JudyBeardsall.com.
All right. Well, of course, there is going to be a link to your website on ours, but I do appreciate you being part of the Crush today and helping me shatter some of these myths that permeate our wine society.
Well, thank you so much, Laura. I really enjoyed being with you. And feel free to call me if you have any questions.
Trust me. Hey, we might have to do this again around October. We'll find some ugly myths and see what we can do then.
Okay. I'll be ready for that.
All right. Well, you take care.
Thanks.